Born in Plant City, Florida, and raised in his hometown, Wilmington, North Carolina, our next guest began his music career in 2020 when he co founded the modern rock band Third Class Passenger and soon after punk rock band Ma Shot Paul. One
That's correct.
element that one element that makes music so powerful in his ability to heal for American singer, songwriter, and multi instrumentalist Davy Williamson, music has helped him fight off his own personal demons. Now, Williamson aims to utilize his platform to assist others with the same struggles. Today, we have him to talk about music and more. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Davy Williamson. What's up, bud?
Hello, hello. How's it going,
How you
everybody?
doing? Yeah,
Good, 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 good. Doing pretty good.
yeah.
Crazy times,
It is.
Christmas right on the corner, COVID,
Yeah. So
presidential election stuff, and you know how all that goes. So,
everything is a mess. So hopefully next year hopefully we'll get the next New Year. So next year should be better.
it should be. I hope. I think we all hope. So,
Yeah. So you mentioned the pandemic. So how are you doing with pandemic with the whole situation of it?
it's interesting to bring that up because I'm probably one of the only people who decided to release on a national platform um, my music, not only just being a solo artist, but to run a national music campaign in the fourth quarter and to push. But one of the things that triggered for me with the pandemic and everybody kind of shutting things down because you can't tour nationally, you
Right.
can't support the radio push for it. I kind of saw it a little bit different. I thought this is an opportunity for me to be able to jump the gun per se, be able to be recognized on that national platform. I've had little successes here and there, and I've toured nationally
Mm, nice.
over the years. However, nothing of any substance that I was trying to support records on or anything like
Right.
that.
Right.
Not large scale. So, pandemics in some twisted way um, has has benefited me in the music business and has hurt me in some of the other businesses and
Yeah.
obviously seeing people sick and hurting it's in a
Yeah.
positive light either. So
Yeah. Well, hopefully this all will go to pass because I heard from I don't know if it's a reliable source, but Facebook. It's not
oh
very,
sure.
it's not a very reliable source, but I heard that South Carolina, where I am right now, has got the vaccine. But once again,
Okay.
it's Facebook, so who knows? Twitter and Facebook has lots of lies. So I don't
Huh.
know.
So you're in South Carolina?
Yes, sir. Columbia,
Really?
Columbia.
Columbia,
Yeah,
really? My
yeah.
brother Lennon Harkins lives in Columbia, South Carolina right
Oh,
now.
nice. Well,
Just recently got
cool.
married in Columbia. That's
Yeah,
super cool.
nice, nice.
Yeah,
And
I'll have to make.
and reading your introduction, as I just did, you were born in Plant City, Florida. My dad is a colonel, and we used to live in Plant City, Florida. I think 30 minutes
Really?
from the ballpark or something, right? There's a.
I'd have no
Oh,
idea,
okay,
to be
yeah,
honest with you.
okay,
Yeah, so um my father and my mother, I guess I was born in
yeah,
Plant City, and I can't tell you anything about it other than they have a strawberry festival, and I know that from previous
maybe,
tours or
yeah,
traveling. That's it's something that's a big deal there. I have family right outside of Tampa still in
okay,
Bradenton, Florida.
yeah,
And I graduated. In fact, I graduated high school in the Panhandle of Florida in a
okay,
small town called Perry,
yeah.
probably an hour from Tallahassee. It's not. It's in the middle of nowhere.
Right. Yeah. Well,
So,
you're like me because I was born in Texas. I was born in Austin, Texas. Can't tell you
okay.
nothing. I can't tell you where anything is. So I'm
Yeah, with
right there with you.
Austin. Yeah,
Yeah. So I'm right there
yeah,
with you.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um. So how long have you been? Well, I guess you were raised in Wilmington, North Carolina.
It
Right.
was. Yeah, and in fact, that's where I'm at today. So,
Okay.
um, yeah, I love it here. I'm a proud Wilmingtonian, is what they call us.
Nice.
I just, over my years, I started here playing music. I went to elementary school, middle school, high school,
Yeah.
here, went to college here a little bit, and Eastern North Carolina is definitely my home, and it's taught me a lot. And unfortunately, I don't play hometown very much anymore. Not for any particular reason, other
Right.
than I've never seemed to, and I think a lot of musicians can relate to this. I've never been able to pull a crowd in my hometown. It's like they love you when you're gone,
But
but
then
when you're
hate you.
home,
They hate you in here. Yeah, right.
yeah,
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 yeah.
they don't care if you're just sitting at home, they seem not to care. It's
Right.
everybody's playing on the same playing with the same hand. So
Right. So
um,
my first question for you is, I know, well, like I can say for safely that you're really into music, obviously. Yeah,
major
you,
fan.
you
Yeah.
raised, yeah, good, good. So which genre of music did really capture you the first time you heard it?
It's a that's a tough question to answer because my my father grew up as a musician,
Okay.
and I grew up around listening to all different genres of music,
Right.
whether it be uh, my mother with the Bee Gees and this kind of thing, and my father, whether it be 10cc, just to dig back a little bit,
Yeah.
head east, but my dad was also, a big fan of um, Tom Petty and Blackfoot, and I grew up in such a broad array of music. My mother was a big Phil Collins fan.
Yeah.
Um, and as me and my brother began to really pick up on it and take off, uh, the most influential, I think, for us was the indie rock, Mudhoney,
Mudhoney's great.
that kind
Yeah.
of sound, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, and then it fell towards the punk rock and the skate punk stuff, which is more along the lines of Agent Orange. I'm a big Lagwagon fan. Bad Religion, No Effects, uh, those styles. And we really honed in on that. Propaganda's a huge influence, I would say, for me.
Yeah.
Just the level of intelligence, the songwriting, the aptitude with um, making it all go together. So it kind of mending um, or having the fortitude to be able to put together a dynamic and in-depth lyric with something so aggressive and being able to express that aggression with Propaganda. With Lagwagon, it Joe, I'm just a huge Joey Cape fan,
Yeah.
lyrically, and can really relate to him. So I'd have to say it really all kind of started for me with the fast, choppy riffs of skate punk style
Okay.
music, and
Yeah.
and I was a big fan of hard rock. My brother went the direction of metal. I went
Yeah.
deeper into the punk rock and more into the hardcore stuff, and of course, over the years, your ears change and you learn more and more and more, and I just such a massive fan of music. It's a tough question to answer, so I'll leave it with I started there and I am where I am today. So
It's funny you mentioned that because when I grew up, I started. Well, my mom um got me the Black Album from Metallica, and that's
absolutely love
all.
it.
And that's all. Every single day, Metallica, Metallica. And my
Yeah,
mom was like, "Oh, God," you know. And then as years grown, more and more, I started
sure.
developing, like you said, a better ear for music, and now if you go to my Spotify list, it's like country,
Right on.
metal, and then straight like rap and rock, and it's like amazing.
I'm the same exact way.
Yeah,
So I it's tough when you are a musician because you seem to get it's very clicky.
right,
So you'll play with the metal guys and then the country guys kind of frown on you. Then you play with the country guys and the metal guys are like, that guy can't come play with us.
right,
You
yeah,
know, so
yeah,
you're getting that kind of thing. And I'm just I kind of see myself as a multifaceted and a lover of music such that I've played in jazz ensembles,
nice,
I've played in country bands, played in rock bands, played in punk bands, played in hip hop groups, played with some pretty decent size groups that do that style of music, and I'm just such a big fan, and on different instruments.
Right.
So that's a huge thing. I think the bigger the fan you are of music in general, the greater appreciation you have for all
Right.
music,
Exactly.
whether it be Lamb of God or
Man,
um,
you're speaking
yeah,
like, yeah, because I
yeah.
don't know if you can see it, but there's an album right up there.
Okay, yeah. Oh, and
That's
you
a
know what's funny is, and I see Chris. I was the next words
Chris
out of my
Stable.
mouth was going
Yeah,
to be like somebody in the
yeah,
country genre, but
yeah.
there's a Chris Stapleton album. So
Right,
there you
yeah,
go.
and then I got you got the rap with Kendrick
Yep, yeah,
Lamar,
there you go.
and then it was street punk with the Misfits, man.
That's right. In fact, my band Ma Shop Pa, we did some opening for Misfits when it was Marky Ramone, Jerry Only, and Dez from Black Flag. They were all
Wow.
playing
Okay.
there.
So yeah, because that was when they did their um like old 50 songs, right? Old covers for
Mhm.
the
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, man, that was the best album I thought, except for this one. This one is American Psycho, and I
yeah.
love this one because of Michael Graves. I think he
Of
just has
course.
the best voice ever made,
Yeah,
Uh,
Michael Graves is awesome.
yeah, no
Yeah.
shade to Glenn though. Glenn's the man, but Michael, man, you
Yeah,
can't.
yeah,
Yeah,
because that's a whole other thing, you know.
yeah. They have
Yeah,
two different aspects of voices.
they really
Um,
do.
so me, which is learning that you are a instrumentalist. What was your first instrument that you picked up and said, "Okay, I can do this"?
That's another
And
tough one.
and
That's,
and do you still have the instrument if you actually.
I wish I could take you around the room and show you.
Oh yeah,
If I have if I had to say what I picked up first and thought I can do this, it would be a guitar.
yeah. I think that's
Um,
everybody's go-to first.
yeah, and then I immediately I'm a drummer at heart, and
Okay.
so that's the instrument that I enjoy the most, and I love to uh, play off the adage less is more with drums. And so the more
Right.
complicated drumming is actually the guy that you don't even know who's in the background playing drums,
Right.
because it fits the song, because you're playing the song, you're not playing to, it's not glam rock. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah. Now,
so
now, when you play the drums, do you play it free-handed or cross-handed? Because I know, because there's pros and cons to every form of playing. So I just
now
want to
that's a
see.
great
Yeah.
question. So I play cross-handed.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do, but I that's yeah, that's something else. I didn't think anybody would ask me that. I don't want to get into the different styles, because
Well. Yeah. Yeah.
there's a guy that plays music with me by the name of Andy Easton, and he used to play drums when he was back. He was 16 years old, and he played with Pat Metheny,
Mm-hmm.
and he plays open-handed
Mm.
and traditional,
Right.
and so he he is probably the most incredible drummer I've ever heard in my life. Not like what most people would think, as fast as they can get
Yeah.
going. Skill wise, he's using all parts of his brain. It's every limb's doing a different time signature.
Right.
Incredible. And God bless him. I don't know how he does it, but man,
Yeah,
he's good.
because the only person that I've seen live ever playing it open-handed was Paul from Cannibal Corpse.
Mm,
Now,
that's
technically,
again,
yeah, yeah, technically that would be I guess, would say the better one because it you don't have to get out of the rules like you do crosshand. You have to come out of it and
yeah,
go.
you're just constantly playing
Yeah,
open.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Freehand, you can do whatever you want because actually you're playing like this. So I don't
Yep.
know. I don't know. It all personal
Yeah.
opinion. Nobody's wrong and nobody's right. You know,
Right.
it's
Right.
just how you play the music.
It
So
is. It is. And again, it goes back to that, playing the song, not playing to be the best in your band kind of thing,
right,
you know.
exactly,
So
exactly.
so
Yeah.
and that's one of the benefits of being a solo guy, because now it's everything. I'm doing all of it. So.
Do it all yourself, so you don't care, do you? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'm like, oh,
yeah,
yeah, it's all me. So if it's bad, I got me to blame. If it's decent, I've got me to blame or
yeah.
agree with.
Um,
It's an inner
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, that's true.
So
Um, who has been your favorite band and it still is to this day? Did you listen to one band and like I want to rock with them all their career?
there would,
I can tell you mine first. You
yeah.
know, to
Let's
give
hear
you
yours first.
okay.
Let's hear yours first.
Mine. And okay, so mine they don't put out music, and understandably so, but mine will always be Nirvana. I
Huh?
love Nirvana ever since the Bleach album. You know,
Oh yeah.
strangely, I thought that Nevermind was their first album, and then I learned that Bleach was. I'm like, okay, I can,
That,
yeah,
that that's typically how it goes
yeah,
anyway.
yeah,
You know,
because
so
Nevermind was their breakout album, you know, and I never thought they would have two albums before that, or was
right.
it Bleach? Bleach was the first. Nevermind was the second one, right?
That's correct.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I
If,
didn't
as far
think.
as I know, now
Well,
there
yeah,
could be
yeah,
something else I don't know. You know,
right,
there's
yeah,
one that we're unfamiliar with, but
yeah,
from what I know, I think that's good to be true. So
yeah.
for me, it would again, it's odd to continue. I get asked this question pretty often in interviews or by people that just are curious
Mhm.
at shows or just online that for whatever reason I've been an inspiration to them wanting to play or wanting to know more, or even if it's just friends. And I always go back to Lagwagon, and they're not as popular of a band to uh, uh, to be named a lot, to come out. Another one of mine is RKL, or Rich Kids on LSD. Um, the the musicianship's just out of this world. Um, there was a guy by the name of Derek Pallord, who ended up being the drummer for Lagwagon. He played for RKL. I think he filled in for some of the guys that in that genre as well. Just
Right.
probably one of the best, technically tight, just skill set out through the roof. And then if you combine that with Joey Cape's songwriting and John Snodgrass, just the creativity that comes out of those guys is something else. Another one for me, which is this, none of this matches my genre. Which, if that tells you anything about, like, I'm into all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Another one that matches my top favorite, I wish I could have been playing with, would be Cake, the band Cake.
Yeah.
And again, creativity, and to be able to take random uh, gizmos and gadgets and place them into your songs and then make it actually turn into a song just baffles me. As far as the rock genres are concerned, um, it's tough to go against um, Foo Fighters, since that started basing off of
Yeah.
Nirvana and Dave Grohl moving over. I'm a
Right.
big Foo Fighters fan. Love what they've done. Um, to pick one's tough. I mean,
Yeah.
I love Aerosmith,
Yeah.
and I like the songwriting and the flamboyancy of the whole thing. It's not for me, but
Yeah.
it's for them for sure.
Okay.
So if I had to say a final answer for all of it, I would have to say um, I would have to go with. I hate to stick my foot in my mouth here. I'd have to say I would choose uh, Aerosmith.
Aerosmith. Yeah.
I would go with
Yeah.
Aerosmith after all of them, and I mean I would put Lagwagon right beside them, but
Yeah.
it's just it's a for me thing. It's not
Yeah.
necessarily technically and all that kind of deal. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's so hard because there's so many great bands out there. Like, which one do I pick? Pearl Jam, the one, Aerosmith. Like, it's it's like, yeah, yeah.
right,
So
and sometimes the magic happens. That's one of the things, is that you can put I forget, me and a friend were talking about Rolling Stones the other day and over the phone, and we were like, can you imagine hearing any of those guys by themselves playing an instrument?
yeah,
Sound like a train wreck.
I
You know what I mean?
know.
Put them all
Right.
together, and it's like, whoa, man, that's awesome. It's like, wow, you found four guys, on the street banging away on broken instruments, throw them
That's right.
together, and you have the Rolling Stones. So
Yeah.
I guess
Right.
that's
So
kind of.
if you thought that question was tough, I'm going to give you another one. Okay, so don't
Uh,
don't hate me, don't hate me too much. All right.
I
Okay,
am with you.
so my our podcast is called "When Words Fail, Music Speaks," and I think that can't be more true to the ear. Um, so what is the one song that you absolutely love that you just can't tell that you just can't explain to anybody how it makes you feel?
Oh man.
Yeah. Mine would be
I, yeah,
mine
let's
would
hear
okay.
yours.
Okay, so mine would be Eric Church the Talladega. You know,
Okay.
there's something about that song that makes me cry every time I hear it. And that's not joking, you know. I do literally shed tears when that song comes out, you know. I
That's
gotta
amazing. That's
yeah,
good.
because every time I hear it in public, I'm like, oh, I don't want to, you know, but I, you know, tend to produce one teardrop when they, you know, when that song comes out.
Mine would be Smokey Robinson,
Ooh.
and it would be Track of My Tears.
Yeah,
And that one, I think that's the one for me. Yeah,
that's what. Yeah, yeah,
every
yeah.
time
Because
I
there's
think of it, I start smiling.
yeah, because there's some certain songs that you just can't explain it. You know, you like I want to tell you about it, but I don't know how to produce words. You know, to
Yeah.
express how much I feel about that song.
Well, it's also it's whenever you can't you it's like one of those songs or the expression. It's when you hear something that means something so deep and somebody else goes, yeah, I know, I've heard it before, and you're not, no man, you're not
No,
listening.
that's
Like
right.
you're
Yeah,
hearing it but you're not listening,
that's right. There's two different things. Yeah,
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 yeah, and
exactly,
I
exactly.
think that's an awesome name for you guys, and I think
Yeah,
it's an awesome uh and awesome thing that people do with each other, and that I think that's how music passes along.
absolutely, absolutely. So before you formed the bands Third Class Passenger or Mosh Hot Paul, were there any bands in high school that you formed or joined? Because I know a lot of people have you know they one interview we like were you in bad high school bands and they say yes or you know no so
Yeah.
yeah
Yeah,
yeah
it's one of
yeah
those ones,
yeah
yeah.
yeah so you're the same way too.
I am.
Okay.
So I my middle school and high school band situation was fairly odd. In middle school, my brother and I lived in a neighborhood called North Chase in Wilmington, North Carolina, on one side of the street. On the other side of the street, there was another buddy of mine, and his mom, Dorothy Desjardins, owned a consignment shop.
Mhm.
And so they always had cool gizmos and gadgets. And that's the second time I've said that in this interview. I don't know where this is coming from, but it's gizmos and gadgets. It must have something to do with Gremlins. Don't they say that in the Gremlins or something?
Yeah, yeah, something like that.
I'm
Yeah.
watching the Christmas scene in
Or
that.
they do, or Ariel says that in the Little Mermaid.
Yeah, yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
Disney movies, come on, man.
Yeah. So so Cutler somehow started. He'd get a guitar from like the consignment shop his mom would give him, or or give him some instrument, or be like, hey, here's a record player, and then we would start getting records, and we would always hang out at his house, and it was a room above the garage, and so we would set up there, and it was a big room above the garage, so one Christmas he gets a guitar, the next Christmas we get guitars, then before you know it, we're like, let's start a band. And then we have a drum
Okay.
set. His mom's downstairs. And for some reason, she allowed us to play music all night long. Like, I mean, they'd get home
Wow.
from work and they would not care that we were upstairs. So, I mean, God bless her and Chuck
Yeah.
and Cutler just for putting up for me and my brother. We would show up over there on a Saturday morning after, I can't imagine now if my daughter showed up with her friends at 7 o'clock in the morning, started banging on drums, at my house.
Right. Right.
It's right after work week, and they let us do it for the longest time. And Cutler's dad, in fact, worked for a textile company, and the company was called Textiles, and he we started a band, and the band was called, I'm getting back deep into when we first started, but the name of the band, just to be stupid, we named it Chocolate Cow.
Okay. Uh,
Right. Yeah. All right, man.
that
Right.
works, I guess.
We thought the same thing growing up, like in doing it. But his dad went and made patches for everything, and all of a sudden I had this brilliant idea. I'm like, man, we should put those on those shirts that your dad gets. So his dad shows up with a box of shirts. Now we're sewing the patches on. We take them to school. We're selling them.
Oh
So now
wow.
we have like the most famous sixth grade band possible. Like everybody in the hallways is wearing toboggans with the,
Chocolate cow.
chocolate cow. Yeah, they've got chocolate cow pants. It's like what the hell's chocolate cow? Like we're like, it's a band, man. We've never played a show. We just sit up in his garage, but we think we're we're
It was the best, yeah. Catch pajamas, right?
yeah, yeah.
Um, okay, so and now you formed a third class bachelor in Marshall Paul in 2020, right?
No,
Or like was it before that?
So it was way before that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
one of the things that I guess they in the press release that came out, they meant to put O2 for third class passenger, and I don't know who messed it up, if it was me or the initial press release that came out, and then everybody copied it.
Right,
We're like, oh, here's the details.
Right.
So in fact, what happened is in O2, we had formed third class passenger. Prior to that, there was another band called Emilio 5, and then a couple other bands that we threw together.
Right.
But third class passenger came together fairly quickly, and we kind of just took off. We had some songs, and that was formed with myself, Chris McCullen, and Jason Gerganis. We were a three-piece hard rock band.
Right.
And it was the first time we'd done anything hard rock band style. Everything had been punk rock, and which I love, and punk rock and more like hardcore bands.
Right.
So once we started third class passenger, it just kind of took off, and it went for a while, and it gained a little momentum. Did some touring from it, did interviews, did radio stations, and it went okay for a little while, but essentially I just wasn't prepared for the I wasn't I was young, and I wasn't prepared for what it took to break through in the industry at that point. I wasn't mature enough.
All right.
And the guys I was with, I think we all just we got burned out on it, and that ended. And the bug was in me, so there was no shaking me. I was going to get in another band, so I ended up getting with my brother again, who I know liked punk rock and metal and whatnot, and met another guy by the name of Michael Barbie, who's a phenomenal musician, plays all the instruments as well, and also Chad Hoyle. Chad Hoyle had been kind of on a music scene guy for a long time, playing drums, and killer punk rock drummer, just killer, perfect thing for what I was looking for at the time. And we decided to start My Shop Pa, and that must have happened in 2 months, and that took off incredibly fast. I mean, within a couple months we were touring.
Right.
So, and we had recorded a record as well. So,
okay, cool.
A whole lot of fun. Lot of fun.
Speaking of Marshall Paul, I know of two, I guess, subcategories of punk. I mean, you could probably give me a lot more, but there's horror punk, which is the Misfits, and then there's rebellion punk, right? With a band name like Marshall Paul, I feel like it's more rebellion punk, right? Am I right? Or kind of
it was a lot. We were compared a lot to bands like Strung Out, and No Effects.
Okay. Yeah.
Things along those lines. Now we've, like I said, we played shows. We played with the Misfits. We played with Less Than Jake. We played with some pretty notable bands over the years, or 2 years. I think we were together.
Uh, being a fan of the Misfits, like I am and you are, did you cover any Misfits songs, and did you play them while you were like, hey, check this out, we got to, because that would have been really really nice, you know.
No, we didn't, and I didn't have the. I didn't. That wasn't my style of
Okay,
of punk rock. So we were more skate punk. We were more on like the. It was the in between of hardcore or like hard rock, hardcore meets heavy punk rock.
okay,
Aggressive
right.
sounding punk rock.
Yeah.
So a great example would be somebody like Propaganda.
Okay, cool, cool. So now let's talk about your new single, "Thin Disguise." That song sounds like of a melodic tempo to me, with a lot of emotion and pain. Um, how long did it take you to write "Thin Disguise," or was it was it like a week song that you wrote in 1 week, or was it like building up? I gotta get this out.
So believe it or not, that song started probably a month before Third Class Passenger stopped. That song was originally supposed to be a Third Class Passenger song.
Okay.
You're the first one I'm telling this, even though the guys in the band know.
Wait.
We actually performed that song with now to be the incorrect lyrics. Um, at in fact at UNCW here, the University of Wilmington, and um, we performed it there. And of all the people, I think it was one of the guys' mothers or somebody's mothers was just like, "Nah, that's just not ready yet." And that was kind of the nail in the coffin for all of us. It's like, all right, well, we're trying to build these songs and we're trying to do something to move forward and move on to the next record, um, to become better. And we weren't getting the reception for what we were trying to perform live. That's why you see a lot of bands when they're like, this one's off of our upcoming record, and they'll perform it. And they kind of base it off of what, if people are into it or not. We
Right.
were doing it and it was just like crickets, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So it started that way, and we just didn't have the structure right at the time. We didn't have the melody line right. We didn't have the backing vocal.
Yeah.
We just, nothing about it was in place. So when I went into the studio with Sean Atkins and Background Records out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, we had hung out a couple times, and he was like, "Man, why aren't you recording anymore? Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
I said, "Sean, nobody knows how to go tour anymore. Or I don't know guys who know how to tour anymore, or want to do it and pursue it, and take the risk that's involved to move forward with it or make it a success." And he said, "Well, I've got the recording stuff at my house. Like, I'll record you if you'll just come record with me. I'd love to, just me and you record it." And I went, "Well, I can do all the instruments." And he was like, "Perfect. And if you can't, I can help you with a few of them if you need me to." And I was like, I do have these couple songs that I've been kind of dabbling with over, a long period of time. Let's go mess around and see if we can do this. And we went to the studio, and the original riff at the beginning, don don da don dan don dan, that was about the only thing that we had kept
Right.
out of the song, except for just one section of where the guitar solo comes in at the end. But we more or less, from those little pieces, we went in, we restructured the whole thing, laid it out lyrically. I have a way that I lay tracks out for myself by kind of doing I use kind of like a number system, and not one like a Nashville number system for playing, but I do it for the way that I'll write lyrically and melodies. And then I can move melodies to where it makes more sense here, and this one makes more sense here, and da 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 da. And then, oh yeah, this place this in this section. And because I had been playing with it so much in my mind over so many years, I was able to kind of spit it out fairly quickly. I say we had finished it, writing it in about 3 days.
Wow.
um,
Okay.
beginning to end. And then, of course, then the mixing process goes into place and mastering and all that.
Right.
And funnily enough, we had gotten burned out even in that 3 days just because of the hyper focus we had put into it,
Right.
that we immediately started recording other tracks just so we could get away from
Oh yeah.
from playing that one over and over and over and then mixing it over and over and over and then
Right.
mastering it over and over
Yeah,
and over
because I feel like you did it the right way because when you record a song and work on it constantly throughout days, and it takes like a fresh pair of eyes to go come back to it later and say, okay, we need to do this and this and this. So yeah,
right.
you know,
Yeah, it I feel like it came across pretty good. In fact, with the EP that's going to be released in January, we it's being now remixed, even though it's good where it is and it's mastered where it is. We're having it remixed to match the rest of the EP, with a guy that I had been working with for 17 years by the name of Steve Hardy, Grammy Award winning engineer, as
oh,
well as
nice.
Andy Van Dat, mastering engineer. Both of those guys are big names in the industry and in their field.
Yeah,
So
cool. Um, now, okay, so in the introduction, I mentioned that you had some demons and that music helped you with those demons. Can you share how music has helped you in your fight, in your battle towards your personal demons?
sure, I think with a lot of people, dealing with whether it be someone who has deals with depression or someone who deals with the cards they're dealt, or just different types of situations. And um, for me, music acts as a release of aggression,
Mm,
um, similar to someone who goes to the gym.
yes,
You're frustrated, you go to the gym, and then you exhaust yourself where you can't be frustrated anymore because you're just too tired.
right.
Kind of works the same for me, and it does it for me a mental capacity.
Yeah,
When the frustration is too much, and the struggle, they say the struggle is real.
yeah. It is real.
It
Yeah,
is real.
yeah. It's not,
Yeah,
it's not just a saying. So yeah,
yeah. For me, um, I've been around, and I've witnessed, and I've seen, I've been a part of, and am akin to, um, situations where you see people hurting and you see people who are upset. And
yeah,
one thing for me is the ability to let somebody know. People say, hey, I'm here for you. Hey,
right.
call me if you ever need anything, is a great example.
Yeah,
But
but you're
nobody
not
ever
there.
calls.
Yeah,
They're
right.
never there.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
yeah,
never actually there when you
yeah,
need them. And one of the things that I feel like I'm able to do through this particular song, and these particular songs, some of them that I've written, and just music in general for me, is to be able to share that I'm there. Uh, I'm there with you, but I'm not gonna wave it in your face and then take it
right.
away from you.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
I'm gonna put it through song, and hopefully, when you're having troubles or going through tough times, when you need something to latch onto, or
Yeah,
something to feel connected to, hopefully they'll put these songs on, and reach out, and and hopefully connect with it, and you know hopefully work their way through it, and help act as guidance to
right.
for better
Yeah.
days. And that's kind of the way that I write the songs in general.
Well, man, I tell you what, you and I must have had the same brain, right? Because I do have depression, and I made this podcast to talk about music for other people who might have like a not so good day,
Sure.
and I feel like if they spend an hour or however long our podcast is, they can, forget about the worries about for an hour or two, just
That's
listen to
right.
some good music, because maybe they're trying to find new music, and we, give that idea or ideas
Right.
depending on the genre,
Absolutely. Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that you reached out, and to my management, and asked for an interview, because I feel like, if someone goes that route, and
yeah,
goes out of the way to ask me, I like to be there, and
right,
at least be able to share my experience, and hopefully that helps whoever's
Right.
listening and watching as well.
Cool, cool. Well, I do have one final question, and it's going to be a real
Uh-oh.
fun one. It's going to be a real fun one. No, no, no.
Okay, okay,
It's
okay, okay,
super,
okay.
super easy. I am always looking for new music to listen to. So I want to know what are you listening to right now that could that I could you know um listen to as well and probably get
Let me
better bands.
hands and figure this out for you.
Yeah, pull it out, man. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's so many music is going on around your head. You're like, okay, well, which one?
Yeah. So, okay. So, like I said, I'm all over the place.
Oh yeah.
So, so I am a fan of right now Billy Talent, the Afraid of Heights album
Okay.
that he did. I've been listening to that a lot. Um, I have a friend out of Salt Lake City, Utah. He's a blues artist. Is by the name of Tony Holiday, and he has an album that just came out. I think it's number 5 on the blues charts, Billboard charts,
Mm.
and it's called Soul Service. Fun fact about Tony is at one point in time I was living in Salt Lake City, Utah, and Tony and I met at a pool hall, and neither one of us knew we were musicians, but I guess the essence was in the air. And he
Right.
said, "Well, man, what are you doing? And what's your story?" And I said, "Well, musician, blah blah blah." And Tony ended up he let me borrow his tour van to go back and forth to work till I got established. And
Nice. Yeah.
incredible guy and incredible music that he's put out. So
Nice. Cool. Cool.
yeah.
So if
Um,
you
oh, go
oh
ahead. Go ahead.
no
I was
no
gonna
no
tell
no
you. I
no
was gonna tell
go
you a couple.
yeah come on
Um,
come on.
and then there is Tuck Smith.
Okay.
If you're familiar with him, he's got a pretty good sound. It's old school rock and roll, but look him up. It's TUK, last name Smith.
Okay. Tuck Smith. Okay.
Yeah, Tug Smith, Tony Holiday, and like I said, Billy Talent.
Cool. I'm gonna look all these up like right after I get off the interview with you because like
Yeah,
I said
man.
I'm always looking for good music and that's something that I can hold dear to you because it's just between me and you
Yeah,
and I may listen to it and just promote their stuff on podcast out on our podcast and
right,
yeah so
right.
it's all good stuff
Yeah,
so if you go to his website, www.davywilliamson.com, the whole site is getting revamped, right? It's in
it is
process
right
of it.
now.
Okay.
It is right now, but you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and there's links to all the music. In fact, there's gonna be any links if you just Google my name, Davy Williamson,
Mm.
DavyWilliamson. You'll be able to find links to the music all throughout, whether it be reviews for the single, or if you're just on iTunes or Spotify, you can search me. I'm fairly easy to find because of my first name being Davy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you said your new EP is coming out in January
It is, yeah. So we're aiming for January 1st, so
first.
which will be
Okay. Well,
quarter
perfect.
one. Yeah.
Perfect. Because my birthday is on the 5th. Right.
Well, there you go
I
then.
get the early gift, right?
There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
And then
dude.
I will tell you this, that we are we have a national radio campaign going. I'm not sure if that's how you originally contacted with us, but um, you can also, there's a list of stations. When you search, it'll be on the website as well, but there's about 100 stations throughout the country right now. So please do call up your local stations and request the single that's out now, Thin Skies. And in
Cool.
January, you can call them and bug them for all the rest of them
There
if
you
you feel
go.
like
There you go.
it.
I do appreciate you coming on, and I'm sorry my co-host isn't here. He's with his wife in Disney World. He's in the one in Florida, so I guess that's Disney World.
Disney World.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So,
yeah.
all right, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. But he wishes he could be here, talking to you. But I'll
Yeah.
make sure
Well,
he
maybe we
listens to
can do
this.
this again.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, yeah. probably sometime after the EP comes out. Maybe we can
Yeah,
do this again,
absolutely.
and I can get some more
Absolutely.
information on the EP. So yeah, cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Killer.
All right.
I really appreciate you having me on, and James, it's been a pleasure. And thanks for not throwing too many crazy questions at
Oh
me.
no. Yeah. Yeah. It's just that one question that I caught you up on, right? Yeah.
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 You got me good one time. So all
Yeah.
right, but
It's
that's
all
good
good.
stuff,
It's all
man.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Have a blast. You know, keep me spinning out there. And let's spread the good word, and hopefully we can get out there and do something with this music thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's great to
All
meet
right.
you. All right.
Awesome. You too, James, man.
All right.
See you guys.
See you.
Awesome.
Bye.